Good morning, my friends. Let me ask you a question. What are the very first words that leave your mouth every morning? Do you wake up and say, "I'm tired, I don't have enough, another hard day ahead"? Or do you rise with expectation, declaring, "Today, doors will open for me. Today, resources will flow into my life," because whether you realize it or not, those first words are setting the direction of your entire day. Now imagine this. If you could take just 60 seconds every morning, no special tools, no complicated rituals, just your voice, and unlock a mindset that attracts wealth, opportunities, and favor, would you do it? The truth is, money responds to language, opportunities respond to language, even your own brain is rewired by the words you repeat. Science calls it neuroplasticity. Scripture calls it life and death are in the power of the tongue. Both are saying the same thing. Your words shape your world. So today, I'm not here to motivate you. I'm here to show you a system, a kingdom principle that can literally shift your financial atmosphere. I will share 6 powerful money phrases that, when spoken daily for just 1 minute, can reprogram your thinking, attract opportunities, and prepare you for wealth. But before I reveal those phrases, I must give you the foundation. Because if you only repeat words without understanding the principles behind them, you'll have empty slogans instead of living declarations. So let's go deeper. Let's uncover why your words carry financial power, and why 60 seconds every morning can be the difference between living in lack and walking in abundance. Every word you speak carries an invisible energy. When spoken, words shape the environment around you and set boundaries for what is possible in your life. They are not just sounds, they are creative forces. In the natural world, scientists have proven that words affect not only the human mind, but even the physical body. Experiments on plants exposed to positive speech grew healthier, while those exposed to negative words withered faster. If creation itself responds to words, how much more does your financial future respond to the words you consistently declare? Your mouth is the pen, and your life is the paper. When you speak lack, you write lack. When you speak increase, you write prosperity. Many people wonder why doors of opportunity never open for them. But every morning they wake up complaining about bills, groaning about work, and predicting failure. They don't realize they are programming the atmosphere of their day to match the very words they speak. In the scriptures, the first demonstration of divine power was through speech. God said, "Let there be light," and creation obeyed. That principle was not recorded for poetry. It was recorded to reveal the law of words. What you say has the power to create or destroy, to multiply or reduce. If light came into being at the sound of a word, then financial opportunities, ideas, and connections can also come alive when you speak them into existence. Real life examples prove this truth. Consider a struggling businesswoman who shifted her language. Instead of saying, "I can't find clients," she began to declare daily, "Clients are looking for me. Opportunities are chasing me, and resources are flowing to me." Within months, her business turned around. She did not just change her strategy. She changed her atmosphere with words, and her strategy began to work because her mindset aligned with expectation. Your declarations don't just inspire you, they prepare others to see you differently. Words signal confidence, faith, and readiness. Employers, investors, and clients pick up on the energy of your speech. A person who consistently declares abundance speaks with a different posture and attracts trust. A person who always complains about lack subconsciously repels opportunities. So ask yourself, what kind of atmosphere are you creating every morning with your words? If your declarations are negative, you are sowing weeds in your financial garden. If your declarations are positive, you are watering seeds of wealth. Words create atmospheres, and atmospheres determine outcomes. Wealth is not attracted to those who despise it. If you treat money as a curse, it will avoid you. If you honor money as a tool for good, it will come closer. Many people unknowingly push money away with the language they use. Money is evil. It's so hard to make money. Rich people are greedy. These phrases create a subconscious barrier. If money is evil, your spirit will resist having much of it because deep down you don't want to become evil. The truth is, money is neutral. It is neither holy nor unholy. It is a magnifier. In the hands of a generous person, money builds schools, feeds children, and funds missions. In the hands of the selfish, it becomes a weapon of greed. The difference is not in the money, but in the heart of the one holding it. That is why honoring money as a servant, not a master, is critical. When you declare, "Money serves me as I serve God's purpose," you establish authority over money while aligning it with a higher purpose. Psychologists explain that our beliefs about money form early, often from our parents. If you grew up hearing phrases like, "We'll never afford that," or "Money doesn't grow on trees," those words shaped how you view wealth today. Many adults unknowingly repeat those same phrases, keeping themselves locked in cycles of financial struggle. But when you consciously honor money and declare it as a partner in fulfilling good purposes, you break that cycle. Consider the story of a young man who hated money because he believed it corrupted people. He struggled financially, living paycheck to paycheck. Later, he learned to see money differently, not as a curse, but as a tool. He began saying every morning, "Money serves me as I serve my purpose." That small shift changed how he treated opportunities. He started saving, investing, and giving. Within years, he moved from surviving to thriving. Investors began trusting him, not because he chased money, but because his language revealed vision and honor. Even on a practical level, honoring money means managing it well. If you complain about small amounts, you show dishonor, and larger amounts will slip from your hands. But if you respect small resources, budgeting them, stewarding them wisely, you qualify for increase. That's why so many people who despise money never keep it. They reject what they secretly want. But those who honor money as a faithful servant keep attracting more of it because they are ready to use it with purpose. Every day begins at a gate. The morning is not just the start of the clock. It is the foundation of the atmosphere that carries you through the next 24 hours. Spiritual leaders, peak performance coaches, and even scientists agree. The early hours are the most critical. Between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m., your mind is in a heightened state of suggestibility. Your subconscious is most open, and what you feed it at that time often shapes your decisions and emotions for the rest of the day. If you begin the morning scrolling through negative news, gossip, or complaints, you program your mind for defeat before you've even left your bed. But if you start with declarations of abundance, gratitude, and expectation, you plant wealth, consciousness into the soil of your mind while it is most fertile. This is why so many highly successful people have morning rituals. Some meditate, some journal, others pray or recite affirmations. They understand that what happens in the first hour sets the tone for the next 20. 3. You cannot control everything that happens during the day, but you can control how you start it. If your morning is disciplined, focused, and abundant, you are far more likely to navigate challenges with creativity and courage. History gives examples of leaders who understood the power of mornings. Benjamin Franklin famously asked himself every morning, "What good shall I do today?" That single question programmed his mind for purpose. Similarly, modern CEOs often credit their early morning routines. before emails and meetings for their clarity and productivity. When you declare in the morning, "This day is pregnant with financial opportunities, and I will not miss them," you do more than speak words. You activate awareness. Suddenly, you begin to notice opportunities you would have ignored. The job posting, the conversation with a stranger, the small idea that sparks a big business, all become visible because your mind was prepared to see them. Without such declarations, many people walk past their blessings every day, blinded by a mindset of lack. The morning gate is yours to command. What you do with it determines whether the day becomes an enemy or a servant. Speak wealth into the morning, and the day bends to your words. Faith is not waiting for evidence before speaking. It is speaking in alignment with the unseen until it becomes visible. The natural mind says, "I'll believe it when I see it." Faith says, "I'll see it because I believe it." This principle is at the heart of transforming lack into abundance. When your financial situation looks bleak, the temptation is to echo what you see. "I'm broke. I'll never get out of debt. Money doesn't come my way." But those statements only reinforce the reality you are trying to escape. Faith requires you to break the cycle by declaring something different, something aligned with what you desire, not what you currently endure. Consider the law of sowing and reaping. A farmer does not wait to see crops before planting seeds. He plants seeds with the faith that they will grow, even when the soil looks empty. Speaking wealth declarations works the same way. You don't wait for the account balance to rise before speaking abundance. You speak abundance until the account balance rises. A couple once buried under $50,000 of debt illustrates this point. Every morning they declared, "We are lenders, not borrowers. Money flows to us and through us." At first it sounded ridiculous. Their reality contradicted their confession. But over time, their faith-driven words changed how they approached money. They began budgeting with intention, cutting unnecessary expenses, and seeking new opportunities. Unexpected promotions and connections followed, and within 3 years, the debt was completely gone. Their reality caught up with their confession. Psychologists call this the power of self-fulfilling prophecy. What you expect, you unconsciously work toward. Faith-driven declarations harness this principle on a higher level, aligning not only your psychology, but also your spiritual authority with the outcomes you desire. Declaring, "I am a lender, not a borrower. Money flows to me and through me." Even when bills pile up is not denial, it is direction. You are instructing your future, not describing your present. Faith does not lie about reality, but it refuses to let reality have the final word. When you consistently speak from faith, you build resilience. Challenges don't destroy you, because your words remind you that your current condition is not your permanent position. Faith-driven declarations create inner strength that allows you to keep moving forward until circumstances align with what you've spoken. Wealth is not only about resources, it is about the person who manages those resources. Your financial life will never rise above your self-image. If you see yourself as poor, undeserving, or unworthy of abundance, you will unconsciously sabotage opportunities that could lift you higher. Identity is the ceiling that determines how much you can hold. This is why many lottery winners lose their fortune within a few years. They receive millions overnight, but because their identity was never developed to manage wealth, the money slips through their hands. They still think like people who lack, so they behave like people who lack, even when surrounded by abundance. On the other hand, people who build wealth slowly through discipline often sustain it for generations because their identity was shaped in the process. When you wake up and declare, "I am worthy of wealth, trusted to manage resources for good," you are not lying. You are training your identity. You are reminding yourself that wealth is not reserved for a select few. It is available to those who are prepared to handle it. This preparation begins in the mind long before it shows up in the bank. Think about how people carry themselves. A person who identifies as broke often avoids opportunities because they assume, "That's not for me." They decline invitations, skip learning experiences, and shrink in the presence of success. Meanwhile, a person who has built a wealthy identity sees opportunity everywhere. They walk into a room expecting connection, favor, and partnership. The difference is not external, it is internal. Psychologists note that behavior always aligns with self-concept. If someone sees themselves as disciplined, they act disciplined. If they see themselves as lazy, their choices reflect that belief. The same principle applies to finances. If you see yourself as a steward of wealth, you act like one. You research, you plan, you save, you invest. Identity dictates action. Consider a young professional who grew up in a home where money was always scarce. For years, she carried the mindset that she didn't deserve success. But when she began declaring daily, "I am worthy of wealth and I am trusted with resources for good," she noticed subtle changes. She applied for jobs with more confidence, negotiated salaries she once would have feared to mention, and eventually stepped into a leadership role. Her income multiplied, not because her skills suddenly changed, but because her identity did. Wealth requires identity, and identity is built through consistent words and actions. When your self-image is aligned with abundance, opportunities that once intimidated you begin to feel natural, and sustaining wealth becomes part of who you are. Gratitude is one of the most powerful multipliers of wealth. When you are thankful for what you already have, you open the door for more. When you despise or complain about what is in your hands, even that little begins to slip away. Gratitude is not passive. It is an active force that attracts increase. Think about money in small amounts. Many people look at their paycheck and say, "This isn't enough," or "I'll never get ahead with this." That attitude closes the door to multiplication. But another person may receive the same paycheck and say, "I thank God for this seed, and I welcome more into my life." That mindset shifts how they use money. Instead of wasting it, they steward it with care. Gratitude sharpens discipline, and discipline creates room for growth. Consider a woman who worked a minimum wage job. She could have cursed her paycheck every month, but instead she chose gratitude. Every time she was paid, she would bless the money, budget it carefully, and thank God for the increase that was coming. Over time, she saved enough for courses to upgrade her skills. With new training, she found a better job. Within a few years, she became a homeowner. Gratitude turned a small income into a stepping stone for abundance. Even in scientific research, gratitude has been shown to rewire the brain for positivity and resilience. People who practice daily gratitude report higher optimism, stronger relationships, and better decision making. These qualities directly affect financial outcomes. Optimistic people are more likely to take opportunities, and disciplined people are more likely to sustain them. Gratitude develops both traits. When you declare every morning, "I thank God for the money I have, and I welcome more into my life," you train your spirit to see possibility instead of limitation. You stop cursing small beginnings and start celebrating them as the foundation of something greater. Money is drawn to people who respect it, not those who despise it. Gratitude is the language of respect. A farmer who despises his seed will never plant it, but one who values it will plant carefully, expecting a harvest. Gratitude works the same way. It tells the universe and your spirit that you are ready for more, and when more comes, you will value it just as much as the little you began with. Gratitude multiplies resources because it prepares both your mind and your environment for increase. It keeps your heart humble, your attitude positive, and your actions aligned with growth. The difference between temporary motivation and lasting transformation is consistency. Speaking wealth declarations once or twice will not shift your life. Seeds take time and they require watering. In the same way, your words must be repeated with discipline until they reprogram the mind and shape new behaviors. Athletes understand this principle well. A sprinter does not train only when they feel like it. They train every day, pushing their body until it adapts. A musician does not practice once and expect mastery. They repeat scales, exercises, and rehearsals until excellence becomes natural. Wealth building works on the same law. Repetition embeds truth into your subconscious until it becomes your normal state of mind. Research on habits shows that it takes about 66 days on average to form a new behavior. This means that when you speak declarations daily for 2 months or more, your mind begins to accept them as reality. You no longer fight doubts the same way because your inner belief has shifted. What once felt awkward begins to feel natural. Over time, you act in alignment with the words you have been planting. Consider 2 individuals. The first speaks affirmations for a week, feels no immediate change and quits. The second commits daily for 90 days, regardless of feelings. The first person remains stuck, while the second notices their confidence rising, their decisions improving, and their opportunities multiplying. The difference is not intelligence or talent, it is consistency. The power of consistency is also tied to momentum. When you speak daily, you build inner momentum that carries you through challenges. Even when circumstances look unchanged, your consistency convinces your spirit that change is inevitable. That conviction pushes you to act boldly, to make wiser financial moves, and to stay patient until results manifest. Consistency also proves seriousness. Opportunities often come to those who demonstrate discipline. Employers promote the consistent worker, investors trust the consistent leader, and clients return to the consistent service provider. Speaking declarations daily conditions you to become consistent in other areas of your life, making you a magnet for trust and increase. The truth is clear. Wealth is not attracted to those who start strong but quit early. It flows to those who are steady, faithful, and committed. Consistency unlocks the power of your words and transforms declarations into destiny. Speaking words of abundance without taking steps toward abundance is self-deception. Declarations are the ignition, but action is the engine that moves the vehicle. Your words set direction, but your choices decide whether you arrive. When someone declares, "I am a lender, not a borrower," yet continues reckless spending, the words lose power. But when those declarations are paired with disciplined habits, budgeting, saving, investing, they create momentum that turns words into reality. Faith without works is incomplete. Confession must be partnered with behavior. Think of a farmer declaring, "This land will yield a harvest." If he never plants seeds, no crop will appear, no matter how passionate his words. But if he speaks with faith and then sows diligently, the combination guarantees results. Wealth works the same way: speak, but also act. A powerful example comes from 2 men who practiced affirmations. Both declared daily that they would be financially free. One kept overspending, avoiding discipline, waiting for miracles. The other paired his declarations with action, tracking expenses, learning investment strategies, and applying for better opportunities. Within years, one was still struggling, while the other was enjoying stability and growth. The words were the same, the difference was action. Declarations without action can even backfire. They create frustration because you expect results without movement. But when you take steps, even small ones, you align with your words and build confidence. Each action reinforces the truth of what you declare. Action also attracts divine partnership. When you declare abundance and then act as a responsible steward, opportunities appear. Investors trust you because your behavior proves reliability. Employers promote you because your work ethic confirms your value. Money flows where responsibility resides. Pairing action with confession does not mean you must have everything figured out. Even small steps matter. Declaring, "Money serves me as I serve purpose," should push you to open a savings account, to study wealth principles, to seek guidance from mentors. These actions demonstrate faith in motion. Each small move compounds over time into significant change. The synergy of words and actions is what transforms lives. Declarations shape belief, and actions make belief visible. When you consistently act on what you speak, you not only rewire your mind, you rewire your entire future.